what's going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. And you guessed it, we did it again. You did it again. Another amazing guest this morning. We're well over 1,000 interviews now with actual clients here of Legendary Marketer. And we are excited this morning. As you can see, or maybe not, we are going to be talking about pressing pause, overcoming setbacks, and rediscovering your brand, voice, and message with Amy Stafford. Amy is a second-time guest here on the show. She was on back in May of 2024, so a few months ago. She is from the great state of California. And my friends, please help me welcome to the show, Amy. How are you this morning?
I'm doing good. How are you, Dave? Thank you for having me on.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for coming back.
Yeah.
So, what's been going on since the last time we interviewed you here on the show? You continuing to grow in finding growth and challenge and overcoming those challenges in your business?
Um, I'm continuing to grow personally. My
Good.
account, my account is not continuing to grow um, because I've decided to um, hold off on my account because I'm trying to decide, what feels right for me personally. But
Mm.
I'm taking the time to grow myself before I decide where to take my business.
Well, good. That's exciting to delve into that a little bit. Talk to us before we get into, the this idea of rediscovering your brand voice and messaging. What motivated you to get involved in this thing in the first place?
Yeah, so I decided to get involved in digital marketing like most of us because I didn't have any control over um, the time that I wanted to spend with my family. And, I always thought it was so important for me to be a stay-at-home mom when my kids were little. And instead, I'm realizing that, oh my God, I have teenagers and it's actually way harder to raise teenagers. And I need to be a present mom for my kids while I
Mm.
have a few more years with them at home. So I, saw on social media, I saw moms who were, having a lot of financial success. They were having the time and financial freedom that I craved. And so I decided to jump into it. And I saw once I took the $7 course, back then it was $7. I knew that this was going to help get me where I wanted to go. And so yeah, it's been a journey, and I definitely have had success. I've had success with the skills that I have learned. So I'm very thankful.
Yeah. No. What particularly stood out to you as you were going through the education? Because that's what people go through here. If you're watching this and you somehow stumbled upon this interview right now, this is not an MLM. This is not a business opportunity. This is not um, any form of internet biz op or anything like that. This is an education platform where we teach you skills, and we particularly focus on 4 core models of selling
Hmm.
information online.
Hmm.
But we get into some of the tools and the techniques, all of the tools eventually, but we try to introduce them at a pace in which doesn't overwhelm somebody and have them setting up things and getting overwhelmed before they actually understand the big picture of what they're doing. Do you remember what stood out to you as you were going through the challenge at first that got you excited?
Um, I loved that I got to work one-on-one with an advisor. That for me, I felt like this company, Legendary, that had this education. I felt like they were more invested in me, right? Because they were taking the time to have somebody that would answer all of my questions personally And that felt different for me.
Mm,
Um, and I loved that I could do this at my own pace. I
mm,
loved that I could learn at my own pace, that I was going to own this education for life, and that I could continually revisit it over and over as much as I needed to, because I came into this with very little tech skills and not a lot of belief in myself and what I was going to be able to accomplish. That made me very, very nervous because I had
mm.
never really participated in social media before this. So I felt like this was legendary. The blueprints, the $7 course, which is now the $5 course, I felt like for me, that was going to be the biggest advantage in having this community and this education. I knew that was what I needed.
Well, thank you for being so honest about your concerns around self, first of all. I mean, because I believe in my own experience, I way more than not have concerns about me and my ability to either do the thing or follow through with the thing than
Mm-hmm.
I do with an established person, place, or thing that I'm getting involved with. Not, I'm not to say that we shouldn't be discerning and even skeptical, but if I ever think back to a time where I didn't succeed with something, it was really because I didn't follow through with it. It was because I didn't give it, maybe I got distracted, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
surely there's times where something is not a fit, right? But any MLM or something like that, I was fearful of talking to people. I was fearful. I felt insecure. I felt like I lacked credibility. I had my own version of imposter syndrome, and I was great at starting things and not so good at following through with things. That was just my story. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like when we own what our vulnerabilities and weaknesses are, we then empower ourselves to, you know, be so much more successful with something. And then we can actually look at the various options out there and say, this doesn't feel like it's going to support me, or this doesn't meet my expectations. And we can kind of go into it more eyes wide open once we've established that we are not victims. We also have, we have shortcomings and we have things that we can improve on or fall short on. So thank you for being honest about that. How have you dealt with that? Um, and I see you moving here. That's
I'm so sorry. I'm
fine.
getting my charger. This is real life, you know?
It
This is my
is.
real life, and I'm getting my charger
Thank
because
you.
my initial Wi-Fi wasn't working. So just bear with me, please. I'm so
We're
sorry. This is
bearing. We're
so
bearing.
unprofessional of me, but
Oh, there's nothing that is professional or needing to be professional on here. The
okay.
more real it is, the better.
Now I'm okay.
You
So
feel a little more relaxed when what were you were looking up and seeing 1%, huh?
I was like,
Oh my
oh my
God.
God, oh my God, I've got to get my charger and I'm on live and oh my God, this is my real life. So here we go.
So, but I wanted to just tell you thank you for being honest.
Yeah.
How did you deal with your own, I mean, I always ask people that, your own limiting beliefs. I mean, in imposter syndromes and just
Oh,
insecurities about tech or being not credible enough. I mean, God, it's
so
so real.
you say that in the past tense, and it really should be you really should be saying that in the present tense because
Mm,
I'm still dealing with these things. And when I take a look at my experience in digital marketing, so I wonder like why hasn't my experience been like other people's? Like, why is my experience in life, in everything that I do, why is it's always the hard way. It's always the hard way for me. It can never be like, oh, yay, like Amy made, $300,000 in 6 months. Woo! Like, that's never going to be my path ever.
mm,
And I'm starting to realize that the story that I hear myself say to other people about my financial struggle, about how hard things are for me, like that, I keep saying that out loud because it's my experience, but it's prevented me from getting out of it. So I'm what, 10 months into digital marketing, and I'm just now starting to change my change the way that I speak about my experience.
Mm,
Because this has not been easy for me, and I have not posted on my account in probably 3 weeks, which when I started, that terrified me to press the pause button.
mm,
But I've been doing this, right? And I'm learning what feels right for me, what feels
mhm,
good for me. And I'm taking the time to, um, I'm taking the time to decide where I want to go. I'm not giving up. I'm not
mhm,
stopping.
mhm.
I'm just listening to myself, and I'm praying about it, and I'm trying to decide what I want to do.
You're speaking a great simple strategy for all things in life, and it is. I mean, the show allows me to pull individuals like yourself out at different phases in their process, and give them, you're sharing very honestly today, and I love
Thank
that, and I
you.
appreciate that, and we're all at different phases. What's coming up for you?
Well, when you guys reached out and asked me to be on the show today, I was very like, I don't know. I don't know if Dave's going to want me on the show today because I'm struggling. Like, I'm pressed the pause button. Like, this is my truth. I don't know how to show up here any other way.
Yeah.
So if you want me to come on here and speak about the mistakes that I made and what I'm doing about it, like, I'm happy to get on here because I can't lie about, I just have to say I'm just honest about it, and I changed up my main offer. I changed up my main offer because I thought that was going to be a good option for me. And all of the sudden, I look back and I'm like, I was ne- when my main offer was different, I was never able to do a live. I was not comfortable talking to people on the phone. And I realized that it's because I don't align with it. I can't speak to it because I don't feel good about it in my core, right? When I had with the blueprints as my main offer, I was doing lives all the time. I was doing Zoom calls with people. I could talk about it all the time. And so in this time when I have pressed the pause button, I've learned that I can only speak to something that I'm aligned with and that I feel good about in my core. And I think so many people in this space are looking to make a quick buck. They're looking to sell, and they don't have success with it because they're not aligned with what they're trying to educate people about, right?
Mm. Yeah, and you know the what you're talking about is something that I've gone through and experienced before, myself. It's difficult when we come on to the internet and we are learning, but we're also watching other people to not to not sort of, I call it, parrot syndrome or monkey see monkey do.
Totally.
It's
Absolutely.
I almost feel like a lot of people will buy our education, and I'm sure they do this other places as well, and then they go and start watching people online and forget about going through the actual education and forming their own ideas and belief systems. I'm not particularly saying that you did this.
Right.
I'm saying that this is my experience with working with thousands of people over the
Right.
years, is that they actually stop going through the education. And because we're so addicted to social media, we go right back onto social media and just start spending time on social media rather than spending time developing our core foundational understanding of internet marketing, affiliate marketing, promotion. And we instead of learning how to market, we learn how to copy people. And
100%.
we learn how to kind of do what other people are doing and sort of trust them at face value and trust their decisions at face value. And sometimes that's good. I mean, sometimes modeling ideas from people is good. I mean, a lot of my marketing ideas over the years have come from inspiration I've got from other campaigns. I think the challenge we get into is when we pivot and stop something that we're doing that we do feel good about, that we do feel that we do believe in, and we're having some traction, and we stop doing that to go and chase a shiny object. And the grass is going to be greener usually wherever you water it, but in some cases it truly is artificial turf, and we get over there thinking the grass is going to be greener, and then we're like, damn, this is artificial turf. This is not what I expected it to be. I'm not feeling it, and I'm now feeling stuck. And I mean,
Yeah. And I feel like, Sean Sorrentos calls it the wild, wild west,
yeah.
I feel like I entered the wild west and where anything goes. And I there's in the wild west, there's no community, there's no support, there's not. And I just don't feel good about it. I don't feel good about it. And that's what I'm learning about myself, right? Through this process of just like pressing the pause button for myself is that
Mhm.
I like I said to you, the only way I know how to be is honest. And I can't show up that way. I can't show up that way. And I've learned that I can show up that way if I am introducing to people how to become a digital marketer and using the blueprints, because the blueprints are truly the in my opinion the best way to learn how to be a successful digital marketer. It
Yeah.
doesn't compare. It doesn't compare.
Well, and we appreciate that, and I appreciate that, and we love having you as both a client, and you've chosen to also be aligned with us on the affiliate side and sort of promote our education. And my hope for you is that you can find your way back to finding your motivation and what you're aligned with, but also that you can realize that being an affiliate, whether that be for Legendary or anywhere else, is only one of the core four business models,
Totally.
and that there's more room to grow. I mean,
Right.
that is one of the biggest, and it's really been a rumor that's been manufactured by competitors and affiliates who were violating our terms, and we had to part ways with them, we that the only purpose of our education is to turn around and resell it. The truth is that nowhere, anywhere in our education do we talk about being an affiliate for Legendary. We are truly trying to teach people skills, and we have a separate affiliate program. If people want to be a part of it, that is fine. And we
Right.
appreciate that, as long as we have similar values and people are
Right.
following our guidelines.
Right.
And we're going to improve our guidelines over time. We're going to get better. We're going to learn more. And we always try to educate people before we
Right.
bring down the hammer and part ways with them. That's another
Right.
thing that's been manufactured by people who, when we tried to educate them and bring them up to kind of elevate their awareness and education around compliance and so forth, they thought we were trying to control them. And so they bucked. And so we decided to part ways. And then people are entitled to say and start whatever rumors they want. But
Right.
digressing back, if somebody wants to go through our education, like yourself, and be an affiliate of Legendary because you got tons of value here, you want to sign up separately, that process is a free process, being an
Right.
affiliate. And if you don't know what you're doing, it's not going to do you much good if you are not going to be successful with it. But
Right.
either way, they're two separate sign up processes. But my hope for everyone is that you remember that the sky is truly the limit in terms of these core four business models that we teach. And
Right.
there's so many different ways to package information, to find information as an affiliate, which usually is where we recommend people start. But as you do something long enough and build your confidence and build your email list and build your belief systems and overcome limiting beliefs and develop confidence, then you start to say, what knowledge and expertise do I now have that I could maybe package in some sort of a course, coaching program, event, or hybrid?
Right.
And so most people, when I say don't quit before the miracle happens, that can mean so many different things. But one of
Mm-hmm.
the things it can mean is very simply, if you start out and you're doing affiliate marketing, just remember that that is really truly only the tip of the iceberg. It's a
Right.
freckle on the pimple of a gnat's ass in terms of,
Wow.
yeah, it's tiny, in terms of, the overall potential and the options that we have as marketers to find and market information online or package
Right.
information of our own. I'll pause there. That's a lot, but does that resonate with you?
It does. It really does. And that's what I'm taking the time to figure out. I started just as an affiliate for Legendary because let's be honest, this digital space has been in a major transformational state, right? As you brought up. Um, I started because I got caught up in those income claims that all these other top affiliates were making. That I got caught up in that. And I got caught up in that again on the other side, on the MRR side. I got caught up in that again. So here I am, 10 months in, pressing the pause button and saying to myself, what do I want to do? It is so much more than just affiliate marketing, right?
Mhm.
Like, I believe I want to create my own digital products. I want to do that. I'm just trying to sit and be quiet and decide what my expertise is and what that looks like. What do I have to share to other people? Because like I've learned in the blueprints, like I've learned from just the community of people, we all have something to share with other people. We all have information, and you only have to be 10% ahead of other people, right? To be able to get started and share that information. So
Absolutely.
I just don't know what I don't know where I'm at, but I know that there's like this long road ahead of me, and I believe in digital marketing. I believe in this education. I just yeah,
Well,
it's confusing.
let me give you some insight into what I would do if I was in your shoes. What I would do if I was in your shoes is similar to what I would do if I was in a lot of you all's shoes. I talked about this yesterday with Gwen. Okay, I
Yep.
had Gwen on the show.
I know, and I'm
Um,
following her, and that's a tough act to follow.
well, this is wonderful. This is wonderful, Amy, and I want you to give yourself more credit than you've given and that you do give. And part of that goes back to what you were saying before. You're aware of the limiting self-talk, and I am. I used to do the same thing. I would describe myself. I would constantly talk about my struggles, and
Mhm.
I was almost addicted to struggle. I was
Yes.
always talking about what I was struggling with. And here's what I want to offer you this morning is I want to offer you a get out of struggle jail free card that you can put down that sort of burden today and just wipe your slate clean and forget about selling anything today. What you are selling is irrelevant. What is more important is the topic and the niche that you are going to speak on your
Right.
account.
Mhm.
What you are promoting should not even be evident on your social media account. And I cover this in the blueprints because if you are talking about a product name or a product company or an owner or a guru or a creator of a course or anything, people are many times going to go and hear that And because you have an established extraordinary trust, and because people, off of just a short video on social media, and also because people are nosy, they are going to go to the good old Google and
Yep.
they are going to type in whatever word, course name, company name, creator that you say. And they are going to oftentimes look into that nosily because that's our nature. Nothing wrong with that. We all do it. And what is going to happen is people are going to be clicking around and they're either going to get sidetracked on these clickbait blog posts that market for, I mean, if somebody Googles, anything out there, any product out there, you're going to get a host of blog posts that are like, ABC review. And
Right.
then what those reviews are is they're just a marketing strategy
Yep.
to give basically a fake review. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had somebody who gave a fake review of us and then was put on a media show
I
earlier
know.
this
Yeah,
year
I know.
as an expert. I mean, I'm going to let other people handle that because that's something I'm not speaking about publicly right now
Right.
because there's just
Right.
too much wrong that was done for me to even comment on it. I'm letting people who know more about how to handle things like that
Good
handle
call.
it.
Yep.
But the point is that if I say the name of something in my content, then people go and they Google it, and then they get lost in a host of other affiliate links and so forth. So instead, the whole strategy that we teach, and I just want to bring you back to basics because if you never leave basics, you don't have to go back to them. The strategy is to just create generic content that you could be promoting anything on the back end. And then from that generic content that's not specific to any type of company or product, it's just specific to a topic. You
Right.
can give something free away. If you're talking about online marketing, you can give the top 5 video hooks or the top 5 ways to use ChatGPT to write video scripts for you, or the
Right.
top 5 ways to generate leads with to build your email list. I'm just throwing things out there of free gifts that we can give away. We call these lead magnets because
Right.
it's a magnet for somebody to want to give their email in exchange, right? Hey, give
Right.
me your email. I'll give you this free thing that's valuable. And so for you or anybody else, I really think that it's a blanket. This applies to everybody. Stop worrying about what you're promoting. As a matter of fact, stop promoting anything at all if you want to, if you feel
Mm-hmm.
like it's irrelevant because
Right.
your content, we spend way too much time trying to focus and pick a product rather than build a damn audience that trusts us. So when we do have something to sell, which usually we should be doing in our emails, they'll actually buy the damn thing
Right.
versus spending so much time worrying about what we need to promote. Now, here's part 2 to this, and then I'll pause. Part 2 is I don't have to pick just one thing. In the blueprints and in the fishing formula business plan that we teach in both the challenge, we begin the process of teaching that. And in the blueprints, we give a full-fledged breakdown, I do, of the 8 parts of the fishing formula. We talk about the second and the third helping.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the power of the second, third, and it can go on to infinity is that I need to become less emotionally attached to the things that I'm promoting. Not that I can't feel passionate about them, but I need to remember I'm not a sales representative of that company. I'm not an employee of that company. I'm an affiliate, and I likely have this is just the role. There's nothing wrong with being a sales representative or somebody. I mean, that's a separate role. We need to understand our lane. As an affiliate, my best strategy is to have an email campaign with many different offerings in it. And so
Mm-hmm.
if I do take something out, change something, replace something, it's not a big life altering decision. It's not the one thing I'm promoting. It's one thing within a long campaign of things that I'm promoting. I'll pause there. What resonates with you and what's coming up for you?
Um, to be honest with you, like I'm sitting here and I'm like, God, you know what? I really think that I need to go back through I need to go back through the blueprints, right? I need to go back to like the fishing formula. I need to go back to all of that. Um, and I love that I can. I love that I can. Um, and you know, you can hop online and you can find anything that's going to support whatever opinion or belief that you think you want to find, right? That's what people don't understand. Like that's the problem. That's the problem. Like I could hop onto Google right now and I can find wonderful things about a product and negative things about a product. And that's where you have to I'm learning. I knew this in my head, but I'm learning. I have to stay with what I think is true for me, what is good for me, and not looking at all the noise around me, whether the noise is on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on Google. Like, what do I know is true for me? Because you cannot get onto social media and speak to things, speak about products, speak about education that you don't stand behind because you want to make money. You can't do it. It's not working. And I'm in Facebook groups that I see all these content creators, all these digital marketers that are all struggling. We're all struggling and we're all having a hard time. And I think it's because a lot of people don't understand. They don't understand what feels right for them. They're chasing the wrong path.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of shiny objects. And I'll tell you, Amy, there always has been. I've
Yeah,
been doing this for,
a
13,
long
14
time.
years. And this is one of the reasons why I'm not rattled by all of the noise is because I've seen it. And it comes wrapped in different paper, but it's always
Yep,
the same shitty gift, which
totally.
is some scammy, schemy pyramid scheme bullshit that pops up out of, and it lasts for a couple of months or sometimes a couple of years
Mm-hmm.
until it implodes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that's the difference. That's why I've chose to go the education route and not get into the multi-level or the various different gray area. Surely we've had some affiliates over the years in our nearly 8 years of business who have made it difficult and put us in a bad light. And the way that we know that's true is because when we let some of those affiliates go part ways with them, they take that same toxic behavior wherever they go, right? So
Yep.
you really truly see that, oh God, that's the root cause of the problem. And so it's a challenge for me, for us to differentiate ourselves and let people think that we are the same as a lot of these scammy, scummy, you know, just weird in um uh oversimplified kind of pyramid schemes where people are passing things around. It's almost like modern day cash gifting. There's no substance, there's no proprietary information. We're in a phase right now on the internet where people are, it's PLR. MRR is PLR. PLR is private label rights, which was essentially created a long time ago. It's been around a long time, and it's something, whether it be a blog article, a course, or videos or something that somebody creates. It's usually very basic, shitty content,
Right.
and you can buy it and own the rights to it. It's kind of like royalty-free content, sort of
Right.
like you would get royalty-free music or video. This is royalty-free content. Now it's been repackaged as this, MRR BS, and the truth is that it's just a modern day cash gifting. It's blown up on the internet over the past year because people have a tendency to dupe themselves into believing that getting rich quick is a reality for them, and that simple, fast, easy is all I got to do is just, resell something that's
Right.
everybody else is reselling that really truly has no value. But the lottery is the same concept. And look at how many people buy lotto tickets. It's in the billions of dollars, you know.
Right.
So it's not, we are all susceptible to this. We are all
Right.
susceptible to this. We've all done this. We have all
Right.
I have bought stocks that I thought, in the craze, in the euphoria of, oh my God, it's going up, or Bitcoin. That's why Bitcoin can be so dangerous. I'm not saying it's not legitimate. I'm going to have somebody in the comments that's like, but it's,
Right.
Bitcoin's, it's the future currency. Look, I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying I've gotten caught up in the euphoria of some shit coin, Bitcoin, stock, whatever. I'm going to get rich on this one. This is my shot, right? Because we're opportunistic people. But it never works out the way that my fantasy has it playing out.
Right.
And I always am led back to, sometimes the hard way, with bumps, bruises, scratches, out of money, out of time, I can't never get it back, to good old freaking where you're at, which is a soul searching place of, okay, shit, what am I going to do with my business, my career? How
Right.
am I going to build something that's sustainable, that
Yep.
I believe in? It's
Yep.
not going to be a here today, gone tomorrow. It's not going to feel scammy or salesy or shitty or grimy. And
Okay, so
it's
can I just
normal.
like be I'm just going to be a little bit more clear here. So like you hop on Instagram and you see these MRR girls who have a stand store full of products. They have 2,000 followers and they're making $15,000 last week, right? And what feels slimy to me about this is that these people have no problem turning around and selling an MRR or a PLR product, and it doesn't feel right because people think that the people who are buying these courses, they think they're going to turn around and they're going to have the same results. And I don't feel good with people coming back to me and saying, why isn't this happening for me? Why isn't this happening for me? It's not easy. It is not that easy
Yeah.
at all. And so many people are desperate and they're having a hard time financially, and they want that quick fix. And
Yeah.
I've got caught up in that. I got caught up in that. And now I am trying to go back to my roots and figure out I can't do this. I can't do what doesn't, I'm honest. I can't sell people something that doesn't feel right for me. I cannot do it. Like I believe in digital marketing. I know what is possible, but it takes work, learning, dedication, consistency. You are going to fail. How are you going to handle that failure? What are you going to do with that? Right? Like we write in our disclaimer, this is not a get rich quick scheme. This is not. This is not it. But you have the power to create something sustainable and beautiful.
Yeah. Well, the truth is that, you know, uh, bad, shitty things are happening all over the place.
Yep.
It just so happens that this is our bubble, right? And so
Mhm.
in our world, this is kind of what's going on. And, to the person who's promoting whatever they're promoting, in their head, they've got a story that they've told themselves that makes it okay, and so that we're dynamic people. We've got a lot of different ways in which we can look at things. It's each one of our jobs to figure out what feels right for us. and what we are going to do with our time and our money and our energy. And my I can tell you that in my experience in the last 13, 14 years, I have had a boatload of shady, you know, cash grab opportunities come across my desk that always seem appealing. It's like, man, maybe I could just make a quick 100 grand, or maybe I could just get in and get out. And and the principle that I try to live by is something that I learned in recovery. I've been in drug and alcohol recovery for 15 years. And I learned something valuable early on. And it was the simple phrase, play the tape all the way through, Dave. Play the tape all the way through. Think about what happens down the road. If you go and you pick up the drink or the drug, you're an addict. Okay. For the normal person, this won't apply because you can put it down. But for me, when I pick it up, I have an addictive personality. I have a hard time putting it down. Right. And so I can't romanticize the first night that's going to be fun and I'm going to get all, party. I got to think about a month later, 2 months later, when I'm in despair, or when I'm feeling shame and I'm not showing up to work or whatever. I need to play the tape through. And the more experience we get in online marketing and entrepreneurship, the more we have the ability to play the tape through and say, yeah, this seems like fast cash or a good opportunity. But if I play the tape through 3, 6 months down the road, 9 months, 12 months down the road, what damage do I cause? Do I lose trust in my audience? Do I have a bunch of people who are, upset or angry at me? Do I have a lack of confidence or belief in myself? I need to learn to play that tape through. And that's something that you're doing. You have a great
Right.
intuition. You have a great gut that you're following. I'm not here to I'm in a position of, I've got a platform here. I'm not here to call people out. I'm here to call practice out. And there are some practices that since the beginning of the year, and really it's been something that we've been working on for a long time. There is a balance between compliance and conversion. There is a balance. Their ethics need to be present, even though you are not being watched by a boss or an HR department. If you are an entrepreneur, you need to be your own HR department. You
Mm-hmm.
need to be your own ethics board. You need to figure out what your morals and values are and create a mission around that and not be flippy floppy about that. I think it's one of the reasons why people follow us here at Legendary and stick around, is because no matter what bullshit happens out on the interwebs, we stay focused and our message stays the same. And if you go back to over 1,000 episodes of Wake Up Legendary, I've been beating the drum that it takes hard work and entrepreneurship is going to be the hardest thing that you ever do. And if you follow through and you're successful, it's going to be the most worthwhile and fulfilling thing you ever do. But you're going to have to work your ass off. And that's
Mm-hmm.
one of the reasons why we do these long form interviews here at Legendaries, because you can't tell the full story in a 30-second video on TikTok. You got to hear the
No.
behind the scenes stories like what you're telling us this morning.
Right.
And although you may have come into this interview thinking, oh, I'm in this tough spot. Do you really want to interview me? Thank you for coming on and being so honest, because communication is how we learn, and honesty is how we grow and heal.
Right.
And that's what you're doing today.
That's what
And I
I'm
think,
trying to do. And
yeah, it's beautiful.
I have a question for you. So how do you know when you should start over? How do you know when you should start over? Because I have an account here. My account, I have almost 20,000 followers. They give me nothing. They don't give me engagement. They don't, and I can tell you why. Because I started affiliate marketing with side hustle videos. All my followers came from clickbait side hustle videos. I don't know the answer to this question, Dave, and I know a lot of people have this question. So what do you say? Like, should I should I start all over from scratch? How do you know? How do you know?
Well, do you need to only have one account? I think we treat our social media accounts like they're our marriage partner. Like the same way that you were talking about what I'm promoting, my main offer. It's like, look, stop being so loyal to Instagram. Instagram doesn't give a damn about you, right?
Mhm.
And I say this to try to shock you a little bit and get you out of feelings. I learned another thing. Ironically, this was back in treatment. This was nearly 20 years ago now, but it was one of the most valuable lessons I ever learned. I over E, intellect over emotion. Okay.
Right.
You're a deep feeling person. I can sense that in you.
Mhm.
You're a deep feeling, you're an overthinker. Okay.
Mhm.
Also, you're an overanalyzer. And we all are. Look, I was watching a show last night that was completely a show. It's fake. And I was overanalyzing it. Like,
Oh
and
my God.
I caught myself like, this is fake. These people are not even together. Like, what am I
Well,
doing? You know,
right. And I always say, like, my deep feeling is a blessing and a curse. Like,
it
how lucky
is.
you are that you get to be with me. Like, I feel things so deeply for you and I'm so loyal, but god damn.
It is, and
Give me
it's a
a cigarette
curse.
and a beer and just let me like take a breath.
I know. It's one of the reasons why I believe that I used drugs and alcohol for so many years was because I'm also a deep feeling person, over analytical, and it was hard for me to escape my own feelings. I'm an empath. I feel people's feelings. I feel the energy around me, and it's overwhelming to live in a world when you're like that. And so, you're developing new coping mechanisms, and we're talking about it right now. So let me give you some feedback to your question. Your question was, when do I start over? Do I start over? I was making this particular kind of video in this niche. Let's take the niche and the type of video away and just speak more generically. Um, Here's what I think you should do. I think you should have 2 to 3 accounts on Instagram, for example. And I think that I think you should test content on each of those accounts. I think, like I was talking about with either Gwen or David Jones the other day, you could have a faceless channel. Okay, you could have a channel that is about a very particular topic, and you could have multiple channels that are about a very particular topic. Maybe start with one faceless channel and one new account about a very particular topic. The reason why I say a very particular topic, David Jones gave like motivation as that
Yeah.
example,
Mm-hmm.
right? Let's just say your topic was, and I'm just coming up with topics, instead of it being about health, a very specific topic would be ADD.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of it being about weight loss, a very specific topic would be keto and going keto, right? That's
Like
what I mean
instead
by
of thinking about mental health, mine could be about like anxiety.
totally. There you go. Instead of being about digital marketing, a channel could be about TikTok marketing or video marketing, right? Be very specific, right? Um, David Jones, his very specific channel, his personal channel is about faceless content, right? That's under the umbrella of digital marketing, but it's a very specific topic. The power of this is that you become known for something in particular
Right.
rather than being another generic kind of, I talk about everything. I'm a digital marketer. What does that even mean? That doesn't mean anything to the normal person. The
Right.
normal person who hears that doesn't even know what digital marketing or affiliate marketing means, right? So one of the reasons why we called it freelance digital marketing, because more
Yes.
people understand the word freelance than they do affiliate. So I would play with something more specific and make the content about the topic instead of yourself. Okay. You can keep your channel that you have right now as, if you want to keep it as more of a personal page that you're talking about your personal journey. You're talking about your personal feelings about the industry, about digital marketing as a whole. You can keep that, can be your rant page, right?
Mhm.
To where, another Amy's rant, where you get on and you rant about things. You just kind of practice your ranting.
Right.
That is a great skill, to be able to rant about a particular subject. And you could have that, or I think it
It's
should
very
just,
relatable.
it's relatable, because when you're ranting about, usually it's almost like complaining,
Right.
but usually it has a lesson behind it, or there's a
Right.
point that you're making,
Right.
right?
And people love to be like, oh my God, yes, let's
Totally.
gripe together.
So people are doing it on the show right now. Go back and review the comments when we're done, and
Okay.
you'll see we're ranting.
Right.
The show is it's a long form rant show. I
Right.
go on rants, right? It's one of kind of my signature things. Nothing is scripted here. It's just rants, right?
Right.
It's an
Mhm.
interview, but then I go on rants, and sometimes the guest goes on rants. So that page that you have currently, you can transition away from whatever didn't sit right with you into more rants, more kind of authentic, even longer form, a couple of minute long, whatever is kind of natural and authentic and off the cuff, off the heart. Take those deep feelings, and instead of sitting in them or allowing them to turn negative in poison, anxiety, fear, resentment, channel them into passion.
Right.
Okay. Channel them into passion and release them. It'll be therapeutic. Release them in rants. That's what I've done for the past 13 to 14 years. I have had a this business has been more therapeutic to me than all the therapy that I've done. And I've done tons of therapy, because I don't keep my feelings inside. I try to figure out what's a lesson behind this, and then I turn it into a rant, complain, point out the funny shit, tell a story, and then but bring it home with a point or a lesson,
Right.
right? Or
Mhm.
something that's positive or motivating. Now, with your other channels, you've got a faceless channel you could do, and then you've got something else that's more singular focused,
Right.
something that you enjoy talking about, that is part that you're passionate about. If it's in digital marketing, find a strategy, find something that you can talk and teach about. This should be teaching content. This
Right.
is not your rant and your personal page. This is where you're teaching stuff about a singular topic. Okay. And try to get as specific as you can. I gave several examples. So now you get to keep your work. Don't scratch it, friends. Don't scratch things that you've done. It's no need to do that.
Right.
Just slightly pivot,
Right.
and then add to. We don't want to replace jobs. This is entrepreneurship. We want to add legs to the stool. And so those are a couple of examples of probably what I do. I call it a gun to head decision. Hopefully that's not triggering to anybody who hears it. That's an example that I give when I'm working with people or team members and we need to make a decision. If you had a gun to your head right now, what would you do?
What
That's
would you
how I
do?
make decisions.
Me
That's how I
too.
make decisions. So you just metaphorically, I just put myself in a gun to head moment with your question. What would I do if I had a
Right.
gun to head? That's what I would do.
Mhm. Yeah, you're right. You make a very, very valid point that I think we as new content creators feel completely married to our account,
Yes.
and we feel that um it's almost like a sign of disloyalty,
Yes.
creating other accounts. It's interesting. It's
It is.
interesting, but I appreciate that advice, and I think it is important to have a separate account. I haven't done, but I think that maybe this is a way that I pivot to have another account where you're testing, 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 testing.
Totally.
Mhm.
Totally. And remember that Instagram specifically gives you the ability to toggle. You just create another account, and you can toggle back and forth between those
Right.
accounts right
Right.
from your profile. You go to your profile page, and there's a drop. You hit the very top username, and it'll give you a drop down of all the pages that you're signed into under your. They could have different email addresses, but you can connect the accounts, and they will keep the algorithm specific. The algorithm won't spill over onto to the other account.
Well,
It
that's
will.
another thing, Dave. All these top affiliates have given people shitty advice. Look, can we be honest about that? They've given shitty advice. And people, I see so many new people who are like, "Oh my God, I have to post at 9:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. and 3:30 p.m. and I cannot veer from that and I cannot miss a post and I cannot, I have to only post from this account on my phone and then this account on my desktop because the algorithm is going to pick up on things." Like, it's crap.
Yeah.
It's total crap. Instagram does not care. It doesn't
Well,
care about
they
that.
want you to have Instagram. Here's it's important to understand what the platforms want. What the platforms want is quality content. They don't
Right.
give a shit how many accounts you have. If you can have 20 accounts and post quality content on all 20 accounts, they give you the easy method to have that. They will connect them for you, and they will keep the algorithms separate. Each
Right.
account has its own separate algorithm working, and that's all the platforms care about. So as long as you're posting because here, if we go take it even a step further, what the platforms really want is users staying on their platform.
Right.
So this is the other reason why it's not particularly a great idea to talk about, you know, products and the platforms don't want you to take people off. They don't
No.
want you to take. They want
It's
you
a
to create.
social app. They
They
want
want
you being
yes,
social.
yes, and so the thing that we have to balance is the promotion directly from our content to people, which is obviously to take people off the platform. You have to create content that engages people, that gets them to watch the content all the way through. That's what that's what the platforms look for. Watch time. How long did the people watch the video? Did they watch it all the way through? Did they watch it multiple times? Did they click the comments, scroll through? I'm sure they can track all those things, but they want engagement. They want content, and they'll
Right.
push that content out.
Right.
When you post, what time you post, how many times you post is irrelevant.
But do you see and that so many people have gotten caught up in that, right?
Well,
They've
I'm not monitoring everything that people are saying out there, but yes, I do know that there are a lot of affiliates or people
content
who
creators
content creators who are teaching dumb ass stuff that
based on zero fact.
zero
Based on
fact.
zero fact.
And
And
that's
and
the
it's
internet for you. I mean,
yep.
the internet allows people to do that. So look, you're asking the right questions. You're using the time wisely. I'm giving you my opinions and what I
Thank
know to
you.
be mostly fact. Have I gotten a call from Instagram from the CEO or a lead developer? But no. But I've been in the game for 14 years,
Right.
and I'm not a guy who's trying to pull wool over people's eyes. I honestly don't even give a shit if people buy our educate. I'm not here to pitch anybody anything. It speaks for itself. We've been in business for this
Right.
long. I think people should learn these skills wherever they can learn them. My job is to give as valuable information as possible and show people that we can help you up front, even before you pay us. And that can't you imagine how we will continue to help you in our education and in our courses and our programs. That's
And
what
the
this show is about.
community.
And in the
And the
community.
community. The community
Right.
on the like once you purchase the blueprints and once you're into the legendary community, that community of support that you get. I've been on the MRR side. The community and the support doesn't even compare. Hands down doesn't compare at all.
Well,
It's
what
amazing.
we're teaching stuff here, and here's the other thing that you need to remember, and we should pay attention to this no matter where we go.
Oh
If
my
we're
God, you're
if
totally
we're
frozen. There we go. Now I see you. You were totally frozen and
so
robotic.
one thing that I just want to say about what we're doing here and why it's unique and why it will stand the test of time and why it's different and why we're still thriving no matter what happens around us. Surely business is not always a straight line. There's going
Mm-hmm.
to have ebbs and flows.
Yep.
So we're not immune to that. But what's different about Legendary is that what we've packaged here inside of our courses is actual proprietary information. It's my experience of marketing over 13 to 14 years on the internet, of seeing trends. We're coaching these principles. We have frameworks and
Mm-hmm.
processes. And not only am I coaching on it, but we also have coaches and strategists
Mm-hmm.
within our company who are coaching on those frameworks. It's proprietary stuff. It's based on our experience. It's not just repackaged, regurgitated, private label rights horseshit that
Totally.
right. And I mean, excuse my French, but we're calling spades spades. And
Yep.
I'm not here to look. PLR in general is garbage. It's not this year because people started promoting it. Doesn't mean that it's garbage, because it's always been garbage. Go to any PLR site where they're selling private label rights or resell content, blog post, videos. It's all generic
Crap.
crap. It's
Yeah.
not stuff you really should put your name on. People,
No, but
the people,
people are, and they're making a
well,
ton of money, and people get caught up in that, and it's
but they're not
crap.
making money from the content itself. They're making money from buying it to resell it.
Right.
There's a difference.
Totally.
Okay, there's a difference. And eventually that scheme will collapse, right? It
Yeah.
likely probably already is, to
Mm-hmm.
where something finds its way through all the people who are going to be susceptible to that. And then there's nobody left to sell it to, right?
Totally.
That when there's no value that's evolving, when there's nothing that's being that when there's no core value,
Right.
pyramids and Ponzi's,
Right. It's a Band-Aid.
you can only keep them going for so long, right?
Yeah.
And look, I'm not. This is, again, I'm speaking to this because I've seen it in the industry for
Right.
14 years. Every
Right.
once in a while, something will pop up. It's never going to end. This kind of stuff is always going to happen. What we need to do as individuals is to get crystal clear on what business we are in and what we are doing and what our long-term objectives are. And today I just gave you a game plan that you and anyone else can follow in terms of a solid stool with multiple legs of traffic that you can build. And you can be, if you have 2 to 3 channels that are growing, and there's no limit, you can have more than that
Right.
if you want, but you want to just be able to keep up with them. You could even be promoting multiple things on those channels. Now you've created multiple. Here's the golden holy grail of online marketing. You've created multiple streams of traffic and you've created multiple streams of income.
Which is
So if
key.
key. But what's
Key.
more key is multiple streams of traffic. Because if an account has some issue, temporarily
Right.
disabled, you lose it. You don't own that piece of rental property. Remember, you don't
Right.
own that Instagram account. You only own your email list. And
Mm-hmm.
so you need to have, and you need to build multiple streams of traffic. And those multiple streams of traffic will be as valuable than your
Right.
multiple streams of income. But the traffic is the main priority. And so that's why today you've brought up great questions about, should I start over? No, don't. Add to.
Add to.
Add
Mm-hmm.
to, and get less emotionally involved in your account that you're married to, but isn't married to you. It doesn't feel the same way about you. It has no feelings.
Totally. That's great, great advice.
All right, Amy. Well, listen, it's been fun, and I can't wait to continue to follow up with you, have you back here in a month or two. Let's continue the conversation.
Absolutely. And I thank you very much for being real right back with me and for giving me great advice. And I have truly enjoyed this conversation.
All right, my friend. Well, we look forward to continuing it. I do, having you back. It's my pleasure. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help in any way,
Okay.
shape, or form in the future.
Awesome.
Stay legendary,
Thank
my friend.
you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, my friends, you can find Amy over on her new rant page at sheloves.freedom. My friends, if you want to get started with our challenge, you want to learn these skills that I'm talking about, you want to start to develop a foundation, a true core foundation of skill sets to where you're not susceptible to being a copycat or parrot syndrome or monkey see, monkey do bullcrap, then learn the skills, man. Learn the skills. It's $5 to get started with our challenge. It's the Learn, Launch, Lead challenge. It will help you to learn the skills, launch a business, and become a leader instead of a follower out on this big old interweb that we're all hanging out on. Go to legendarymarketer.com/enroll and get started with that challenge, or our blueprints, or come to a mastermind. I'm going to post a link that you can join a free messenger list where we'll give you a Facebook message at 10 a.m. Eastern time. I'll put this link in the comments so you don't have to, try to type it out. I just posted it in the comments. You can click that link and it will take you to a messenger list. It will open up your messenger and you can join that notification list. I'm posting it in the comments. I've posted it now 3 times. That is what we're using instead of our text message list now, because the text message service was over $10,000. This is free. Okay. So as we're using it, we're also passing it on to you to make you aware that this is a great notification system. And people typically check their Facebook messages as much as they check their email and their text messages. So it's got wonderful open rates. So go and join that. Last but not least, if you want a free accountability coaching session, many of you may have seen or heard the interview we did with Bonnie or Eric, our accountability mentors. We have launched a new accountability coaching program where we will hold you accountable to follow through and implement the skills and the strategies and the business models that you've learned here. If you want a free session where we will assess your business, give you some pointers, and you can walk away whether you join the program or not with likely more value than any other call that you've had this year, email me personally at dave@legendarymarketer.com and say accountability call or free call, or I need help, I need accountability. Whatever you put, we'll get it. And I will literally personally CC you in with Eric or Bonnie. And you can begin the path of being held accountable the same way that if you had a personal trainer, that person would be waiting on you at the gym to show up to make sure your ass showed up and did the work and started to get some results. Email me at dave@legendarymarketer.com for that free complimentary accountability coaching call. I want to thank Amy for a wonderful episode, tons of honesty, and hopefully you guys got lots of value from that. Join us back here tomorrow for another episode. With that being said, get out of here. Have a great day. Be legendary. Peace.